is technically cut off from through service, which a lot of Long Islanders don't even know is going to happen. And every train goes to either Penn Station or Grand Central, and you have to change to platform F at Jamaica to get a shuttle train to Brooklyn. That seems to me the perfect time to make the Brooklyn branch a transit line and run it to Southeast Queens.
That's a terrible thing to do for Brooklyn. Right now you have cross-platform transfers at Jamaica. There's triple line excursions.
It's not my idea, George.
It's not a good idea at all.
I've
It hurts
said that
people.
any number of times.
It has a little issue of race and class involved in
Not
it
only
too.
do you lose your one-seat ride to Brooklyn, but you lose your across-the-platform transfer to
Well, that's
Brooklyn.
a terrible plan.
But it's a done deal. Helena
It is
Williams
not
set
a
it
done- I
up.
didn't see anybody building anything out there.
It's part of the Jamaica
Hold the
reconfiguration
plan.
plan.
We took a position,
We took a position on that.
and what they've done
Well,
the track
Brooklyn Borough
record.
President doesn't want it either.
Yeah.
No,
What
he's
happened?
a-
The borough president of Brooklyn does not want it either.
Well, he's just got up and over.
He has been, he's been meeting with them, he's been, yeah.
Nobody wants it.
No, he's been out there on that.
Every council.
It's a terrible, terrible
The
thing.
whole
So why is
configuration
it
of,
happening?
because the configuration of Jamaica has already been done so that you don't have the Jamaica crawl, and it was done
To
specifically.
speed trains through
to speed
Jamaica is
trains
why it was,
through.
is going to be done.
Yeah,
Well, it should be stopped.
I would love it.
yeah.
Did you want to say something? Your hand was up.
I don't know, well, would there be an additional discount for reduced fare Metro car holders, or is this discount just goes down?
No, there would be, just like there is a reduced fare for seniors and.
Okay, this wasn't in the report.
No, no.
Well,
That
but
would be
there is no discount on the westbound during rush hour. Remember, it's only eastbound in the evening.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
I've never, I didn't ask that question.
Yeah, I don't, Mike?
Yeah, just to get away from the issue of discounts and how much it's going to cost and so forth, let's keep in mind how this entire project emanated. This council, with Andrew taking the lead with the staff, recognized that we got a serious deficiency with lack of public transportation in southeastern Queens. And rather than just say, well, that's what we got to live with, we took the initiative here. We came up with a proposal to do something about it. The people in southeastern Queens are very intelligent people. They'll make the decision whether they want to continue using the service they currently use to get into the city, or use the express buses, or use Freedom Ticket. The fact that the express buses and Freedom Ticket are comparative is only the dollar portion of the equation. If you looked at the time here, you're using express buses at the same rate as using the local vans, the local buses, the subways to get to Manhattan. You're not getting any advantage insofar as your time of transportation. What you're getting is a better ride perhaps in a seat, but you're not getting anything that mirrors what's possibly available here with Freedom Ticket. We should be focusing on getting this program in place, whether it's a pilot or a trial or whatever. The people of southeastern Queens and eventually the other areas throughout the city that are underserved are going to love this program, and they're all going to be emanating to become part and parcel of the entire program. We shouldn't be nickel and diming how much it's going to cost and whether it's going to cost as much as a Metro card or not. If we can get this thing started and moving, I think we'll see the advantage of it, and so will the people who intend to use it. I mean, that's what we should be doing.
We can't get it into place, neither can the MTA or New York City Transit or anything else. It has to go through the city council, it has to be approved by elected officials. And as long as there is something that they can't sell, they'll say, because they also, you left out what, or you mentioned it in passing, about, oh yeah, they also use vans. To them, the dollar vans are a way of saving money and getting from one place to another.
And they're dangerous, and they're dangerous, they're unregulated.
People don't recognize
Sherry, I'm
that.
wondering why you think the city council has to pass on this.
It has to be passed by the city administration.
Why? The MTA is a state agency.
Then the state has to
Well,
pass
for the
on it.
city to put money
But
into
you
it.
said you
I
wanted.
don't think you need council approval for the
You
city.
need
to do
for
that.
the city to put in money, have you?
But are you saying that
Budget item, maybe.
Wait,
Yes, you need a budget item.
Are you saying Queens would rather shoot themselves in the foot and say
Some people
nothing?
would. Yes,
No freedom ticket at all
Yeah,
is better than going with a premium priced.
yes.
There are
Bottom
going
line,
to
and it
be
makes no
people
sense.
who
Wow.
will say that, and there are gonna be people who will say, I can't afford that, so
Right.
no one should have it. There
Well,
are
the
lots
majority
of
say
Oh, there's no
issues.
doubt someone will say
But
that.
they're elected
Yes.
officials,
No
they're
doubt.
elected officials who are going to be the life or death of this, are going to go to those constituents, and they are going to listen to those who make the loudest voice and say, we're not gonna spend any more money. Because these people will also say, if we wanted comfort, or if we wanted a one-seat ride, or if we wanted everything, we have express buses right now. And if you say it's $1 cheaper than the express bus, or $2, they'll say, if I could afford this, I could afford another $1. And the people who can afford the express buses aren't necessarily going to.
An express bus, hypothetically, from southeast Queens can take 75 minutes to get to
I
Midtown.
know what it takes to pass, and it is a
20
bus,
minutes.
and whether you like it or not, it's as soon as you talk about using city money, which has to be approved by both the city and the state, you are talking about a budget item, and that is something that elected officials are going to have to
We're getting a
pass.
favorable reaction from many city officials, Trudy.
Not
Elected officials.
Okay, and I am telling you, from what I heard from two key people.
I know why you heard it, and we know the source,
Fine.
so we're good.
You
Stuart?
still want to shore up where the Queensborough president stands on this.
No, absolutely we
And
do.
what she, and what her reservations are, if any.
Absolutely
She knows
we
she
do.
has some other plan cooking.
But there have been people.
But how to sell this
I'd be
is,
surprised.
how to sell this is really, in my opinion, time. It's a huge time saver.
It's a huge
Like,
time
like
saver.
for me, if I want to get to Jamaica from Brooklyn, I'm not schlepping into Manhattan. I take the Long Island Road right to Jamaica, it's 15 minutes.
Right.
And I can pay I can afford to pay that fee. Time is the savings, and I think it'll drive the
Well, and there's a lot of.
train services.
Right, and there's a lot of people who are working, off peak hours as well. And I used to work with a lot of these people who, they do take the Long Island Road to get home to their families. And so it just buys them more
It's
extra
fastest.
time to spend with
Much
their families and do the
faster,
things
much
that they can do
safer.
that they do.
But the point is,
Good
we have
point,
neighborhoods
good point.
that don't get served by subways, but they have rail infrastructure. We should be utilizing it better than we are. That's what we're saying here. Alan?
Just one moment. First, my apologies for being late, but it was Andrew Cuomo's MTA that delayed me. However, I'd like Bill and Ms. Morrison and Andrew to know, getting into the building went like clockwork, no problem at all.
That's good.
As long as your name was on the list.
As long as you have a state or, government issued ID.
Yes, I showed my senior Metro card, which is a government-issued ID, and what better card than the MTA's own card? I won't ask, I missed the presentation, I'd like to have one of those booklets, Andrew, but I wanted to ask the chair, by whatever name, freedom ticket, thank you, Trudy, what other transit systems have this type of thing? I'm only acquainted with London. If you know,
Interestingly, other cities integrate their commuter rail and their rapid transit lines a little bit better than we do. In Philadelphia, SEPTA has commuter rail service serving all different parts of the city of Philadelphia. And it's at a pretty low fare, it's not subway fare, but it's slightly more than subway fare. Because as you know, there's only 2 subway lines in Philly, but there's a radiating out of commuter rail lines from when there was the Reading and when there was the Pennsylvania Railroad, so they're really well covered by rail. We're really well covered by rail, but we charge an arm and a leg to ride our rail. And we charge more for city riders per mile than we do for somebody that lives in Hicksville or Bethpage or Babylon. A lot more per mile for a city rider. That's not fair.
is it fair enough? Double entendre. But integrating by that, you mean similar to what I know about London.
And Chicago has a lot of metro service that is within the city of Chicago.
So we should get with the program.
We should get with the program.
Right, Mike? Thank you.
Thank you.
Big discount on
Yeah, Chris.
My question is because I just got something on the email.
someone was asking me, because they couldn't be here, is what's going on, are you guys also gonna be doing the Port Washington? Because after Flushing, it does have, you know,
Stations from Murray Hill east to Little Neck
yeah,
would be more than 0.8 miles from the nearest subway,
yeah.
and so they would be eligible for Freedom
So
Ticket.
we'll
In
be,
phase two.
But not
In
Flushing.
phase two,
But
that's
not
not the
Flushing.
proof of
That's-
concept. In phase two,
No, I understand.
2019.
Brooklyn is a special case. Brooklyn would have to be part of it, actually.
and one
But
thing
wait,
is,
what did you say about Flushing?
Flushing would be in the final, would be final phase, because in the final phase, everything would be.
The final
But it
phase.
wouldn't be in.
No,
Would
the
be in
station's
the
very
phase
close
two.
to another.
You may
Okay,
wanna,
I'm just asking.
as per this gentleman's suggestion, I think the Brooklyn phase may want to be moved up before the final phase, because that makes the whole thing really workable, don't you think?
That's an economic development case, so that's a special case that's what we're meeting about.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Well, Andrew, will there be a checkpoint Adams?
excuse me, Andrew, Elliot, there's one thing you guys forgot.
Checkpoint.
The only thing in Flushing that runs is the 7 train, and remember, when the 7 train goes out, like, God forbid, signal problems, frozen ice on the third rail, the 7 is out, and there is no other connection until it gets to Jackson Heights. So, and they,
Except for the Long
and they
Island
do,
Railroad.
yeah, but the cross honoring is at technically Flushing, Meswell's Point if they open it,
Yeah.
and then the next stop is not until Woodside, so technically.
Although the Elmhurst station is coming back, believe it or not. We don't have a Springfield Garden station coming back where there is no subway service, but we have an Elmhurst station coming back where there is adequate subway service. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm just saying, after Elmhurst, the next station,
Is
you know,
Woodside.
yeah, because once it leaves those.
The only
trains-
station the Port Washington branch will be missing then is Corona. Remember Corona Station?
Yeah, I heard, I saw it on the, but Andrew, that's all I'm concerned. Make a
All
motion to
right. Well, I
adjourn.
think we've had a great discussion, a great airing of issues, and we're gonna keep pushing this. So thanks to everybody.
May I say, Ellen? Ellen?
You may say Ellen.
Oh, I got one. May I say?
The people that
aren't here,
Okay.
Ellen, I'll talk about this before.
Let me ask you,
want a
May
couple?
I say, Ellen?
Oh, this is about what we're discussing,
Oh,
that
you approving this?
Brad,
Oh, you did all.
they, no, I want this, this is what I was gonna talk about, but didn't give me a chance to talk.
Should I wait till after?
Well, I'm just mentioning some problems with the report,
No,
free
I
to
don't-
about the mileage
would be
and,
happy, no.
that it should use other areas, but they did cover something a little bit. I didn't know it was subsidized by the city.
I would be happy to do that.
And then I talked about the Rockaway Beach, and I said other things they want to bring up.
No, part of my district is
Thanks, Judy.
Andrew and I already discussed this already. We want the Rockaway.
Here's yours.
Just
But
that
in the
station.
meantime, I would be,
Because
well,
after that,
Andrew,
the increase by itself, and it goes out, that's it, they're deserted.
Okay, I talked about the reactivated